that are still at work.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, you guys are being recorded. So I wanted to do this because there was several people that wanted me to help them today after we had our amazing event in Greenville this past weekend. And I thought, well, why don't we, yeah, I'm talking about you guys. I was like, why don't we just do a training? Because I feel like when I've had several people tell me recently, I want to make money for the summer. We're going on vacation, we're doing all the things, and I really want to, earn extra money, and I would love to do some parties, but I don't know where to start. And doing a party and earning money is all about your mindset and the fundamentals, but you can have all of that going for you. But if you don't know why you're doing it and you don't have a clear vision and a clear goal, then it can be really hard or feel hard to stay motivated whenever life gets hard, because you guys know, like, you may be fired up one minute and then somebody ticks you off the next minute and you're just like, oh, fine, whatever, I'm just forget it. So the first thing you have to do is be very clear about your goal. So it's one thing to say, I want to be debt free, or I want to pay off my house, or I want to earn vacation money for this summer. It is more motivating if you get very specific with your goals. So they can be really big goals, they can be a little goal, but you need to know exactly what it is that you are working for. So if it is a vacation, awesome. I remember the first vacation that I paid for in full with Alouette was, and the first time I had ever been on a full week vacation to Florida was 3 or 4 summers ago. Um, we went to Florida for an entire week, and we got a house with a pool. It was right across the street from the beach. It was amazing. And the whole trip was paid for by Alouette. So you want to know where you're going to go, when you want to go, how much is it going to cost? Where do you want to stay? And I'm not talking about the Motel 6, okay? Like, where do you want to stay? Is there a really nice hotel that you would really like to stay at? If you had the money to do everything you wanted to on this vacation, what would you do? Where are you staying? Do you want to cook the whole week, or do you want to go out to eat the whole week? Where do you want to go eat? How much is it going to cost in gas to get there? So think about all these things and then come up with a number. So maybe it's going to cost you $2,000 for the week. Maybe it's going to cost $1,000. I don't know. But figure out how much it's going to be, and then you can figure out what you need to do to get there. So I hope all this is making sense. So if you say, well, I would really love to have financial freedom and I would love to not live paycheck to paycheck anymore. Awesome. That's a good feeling whenever you can finally do that. So the question is, that sounds really great. And that's a really great, answer when people ask you what you would do if you had extra money. However, if your groceries are going to be bought and your light bill is going to be paid and all your monthly bills are going to be paid, whether you make any money with Alouette or not, it's not motivating. What's motivating is when you have a car payment that's not going to be paid unless you make that extra money somehow, right? That's motivating. Like, them threatening to come repo your car will make you work and learn how to do it right? So know exactly what you want. And if all the bills are going to be paid, or if you are going to take that vacation, regardless if you make the money with Alouette or not, then you need a different goal. You need to find what you want, and you need to set a goal for something that only Alouette can help you get. If it is a new pair of cowboy boots, like I've had my eye on a pair of cowboy boots for a couple months now that I've been saving money for. I know which ones they are, I know how much they are, and I'm putting a little bit back from each check. And whenever I get the money, I'm going to go and buy those cowboy boots. So it's like, you want to make sure that you know exactly what you want in Alouette. If it is to quit your full-time job, if you want to do Alouette full-time, so you have more financial freedom, so you have more time freedom and more flexibility, then how much do you need to make each month to replace the income that you're making now? So these are goals that you want to, write down and set and be very specific about. And then the next step is to decide how you're going to make the money. So there's so many different ways, guys. You can do it through parties, is obviously the fastest way. So the fastest easiest way to earn money with Aloette is through shows. And it can be virtual, it can be in person, it can be like a you, me, and three is one of my favorite things to do. Like, get one of your girlfriends to get three of her friends together, and you've got 4 people in the room at the same time. It's technically a show. You can do facials, like one-on-one facials. Vendor events are everywhere in the spring, and vendor events are so fun. And if you've never done one, it's totally fine. Plenty of us on here have, so we will be able to help you with that. But that's a great way to get new business on your calendar. If you feel like you've already asked everybody, or you feel like you just need to meet new people, then that's a really great way to book facials. It's a great way to add people to your team, because everyone's looking for some way to make extra money right now. I mean, gas prices are out the roof. I just went to Aldi and spent almost $100 on what 6 months ago would have been $40, right? So everything is going up. So people are looking for extra money right now. So definitely be offering it to, anybody that you can think of. But if you guys have any questions, please let me know. But I just wanted to share this with y'all, because I have heard so many people tell me, well, I would love to make, an extra $500 a month, but I don't know what I would use it for. Or I would like to make an extra $1,000 a month by the summer. That's great, but what are you going to do with that $1,000? And also, I'll tell you guys too, get your husbands involved, get your kids involved. Like, everybody wants to know what's in it for me. So when you're setting goals, definitely include your family in your goals. Like, sit down and talk to your husband. Like, hey, if I made an extra $10,000 this year, or if I was making an extra $200 or $300 a month, what would that do for us? Like, what could we do with that extra money? Like, is there something that you would like to do with it? And men just want to know how much money you're making, right? And kids just want to know what you're going to bribe them with if you need them to be quiet for a little bit. I am looking very forward to the moment when my children are old enough to understand what a bribe is, because I will totally use that. Like, hey, if you'll just sit here and watch CoComelon for 15 minutes and let me make these phone calls, we'll get ice cream, okay? I will totally be that mom. I'm not there yet, but I'm looking forward to it. But, maybe you want to take your kids to Disney. Sit down and plan those goals with them. And, that way, when you are working your business, your children are not going to nag you constantly, because they know, like, hey, mommy's working, so we can go to Disney. So get them involved with that too. I know we've been working on some home renovations at our house. And so, I sat down with my husband this past week and I was like, I need numbers. Like, I know all the stuff you want to do to the house, but I need to know how much it's going to cost. Like, we want new floors, and we want to finish our basement, and we want to do a bunch of stuff to the yard. And so it's like, I need to know how much it's going to cost so I can figure out, how much I need to make to be able to make that happen. And when you do that, guys, it is going to make you so excited to work your business. If you're working to pay off a credit card, that's awesome, but it's not that motivating. It's like, whatever. I can make my minimum payment if I have to. It's no big deal. So set a fun goal. So maybe it's super important for you to pay off that credit card in the next, I don't know, X amount of time. So when you do that, maybe that's your main goal, but maybe you treat yourself to something that you've really been wanting when you pay off that debt. So maybe there's a new pair of shoes, cowboy boots, that you've been wanting. Maybe there's this really nice restaurant that you've been wanting to go to. Maybe you want to treat yourself and go get your nails done. I don't know what it may be. But plan to treat yourself when you achieve that goal. So that way you can say, okay, whenever I do this thing, then I'm going to take this extra money that I make and I'm going to go treat myself. Maybe it's a shopping spree. I don't know. But that's what's going to make it motivating for you to work your business when you don't feel like it. When I first joined Aloette, I worked full time. I worked Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, sometimes 6. Sometimes I worked on Saturday. And I consistently did 2 to 3 shows a week for about 2 years. And, I'd have some weeks where I'd kind of fall off the wagon. But I'd pick back up the next week. So you can do it even if you work full time, because I have a lot of ladies tell me, my life is crazy. I work full time. I have no idea when I would have time to do this. But we make time for the things that make us happy and that excite us. So this is how it's going to excite you to get out of bed in the morning and work your business, even if it's 10 or 15 minutes a day, or if it's a power hour, whatever. Like I was telling Danielle on the way home the other day, I said power hours are great because she has a family. She has a full-time job. She has a husband that has a very demanding job and works crazy hours, and she's involved in some stuff that he works with too. And so I was telling her the power hour can be so great because you can work 15 minutes on, you know, adding a show to your calendar. You can work on 15 minutes on hostess coaching your hostesses, 15 minutes on following up with recruit leads, and 15 minutes on customer service or whatever it is that you feel like you need to work on that day. And that can help you to stay organized. And y'all listen, I'm telling you, when you go on social media, I do a lot of work on Facebook, right? Because we're constantly messaging people back and forth. It can be so distracting. So I literally have to be like, okay, for 15 minutes, I'm going to focus on this one thing. I'm not going to get distracted by these Facebook notifications or text messages or phone calls for 15 minutes. I'm just going to focus on this one thing. And I think when you start doing that, you'll be surprised how easy it is. But you definitely have to want it first. So figure out what you want and then make a plan and go for it. And of course, if you still need help after this, reach out to your team leader or your president, and be like, hey, here's what I want. Here's the thing that I really want to have. Maybe, listen, I love to travel. I feel like I always go back to traveling. Like, here's a trip that I really want to take, or here's this thing that I really want to buy, but I don't know what I need to do to get it. So first thing first is to know what you want and then make a plan and figure out how to get it. So, all right, guys, it's been 15 minutes. I just wanted this to be short and sweet tonight, but thank you guys so very much for hopping on. Does anybody have any questions before I finish? I know, hey, we got some new girls on here tonight. I know Bernadetta has her launch party this week. Joyce has her launch party this week. I'm so excited. Somebody unmuted themselves.
It's like crickets.
Hey, it is like crickets. I know. I love it.
And Jean
Okay.
party this week also.
Jean does have a party this week. Welcome to Alouette, Jean.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have any questions?
Not right now. I just kind of jumped on because I was trying to set up my insurance through my work. So.
Oh, well, thank you for joining. I'm sure you'll have questions later this week for Noelle.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome, guys. Okay, well, I am going to stop recording. And if y'all don't have any questions, then I am going to hop off.